My Apple Blossom Teacher, this could be a feature film or a TV series. It has been adapted from the extraordinary true story of Steve and Rose. Steve was a former elite athlete and Olympic sailor, and Rose, a demure physiotherapy student, both alluring and professional. Then their lives were shattered not just physically, but their love story exploded. It's a film about rupture that blends love into wisdom with a profound philosophical depth that helps two people, and maybe a civilization, to find a new way forward for our global culture and beautiful planet. At 20, Steve was a medical student, obsessed by rugby. Rose, a 19-year-old physiotherapy student, was always on hand. Then on a sailing holiday, they secretly engage on a hill in Turkey and were full of hope and ambition. 4 weeks later, in an instant, a tackle, a twist, a break. His spine was smashed, paralysed from the neck down. Everything they'd built together collapsed. But this isn't a story about adversity, pain and suffering. It's definitely not about triumph over tragedy. It's a love story, but not in the conventional sense. It encompasses wisdom, passion, and philosophical growth. It's also a civilizational story. It's about what happens when life as we know it breaks and the earth shatters, and what it means to reimagine identity, reality, and purpose from the ruins. Through the tireless love of his partner Rose and the quiet metaphor of the apple blossom, Steve and Rose begin to rebuild their lives, not back to what it was, but forward into something wiser, more beautiful, and more needed than ever. This is not just Steve's story, it is about relationship, civilization, and family. Steve's personal collapse becomes compromised further, but still, Rose provides unwavering support, and they enjoy a slow, humble recovery. This story gives us a human lens to understand what it means to lose control and to build something new from love, fragility, and care. Visually, the film is poetic, family-orientated, lyrical, and grounded in reality. But it is also suffused with metaphor. Think the diving bell and the butterfly meets everything everywhere all at once. We move between the streets of Mumbai and inner landscapes of our minds, between the stillness of the body and the excitement of travelling that delivers an intensity of inner transformation. The narrative is carried by two voices, Steve and Rose. Their love is the backbone of the film, not just as a romantic ideal, but as a practice, joy, and family. It is a relationship that holds meaning in place when everything else falls away. Their dialogue becomes the soul of the film, sparse, clear, and honest. Steve is a globally recognised disability rights leader, and his academic work led to the introduction of anti-discrimination legislation. He's worked across sport, medicine, government, and business, across continents, Australia, Africa, the US, the Middle East, and Europe. Steve was on the board that built all the stadia for London 2012, delivered on time, to budget, and exceeding quality. But more than that, he shows us that disability is not a niche issue. It's a mirror to society's values. This film is an authentic, lived portrayal of disability, without cliché, pity, or sentimentality. Just when they thought the worst was behind then, life broke open again. Now 65, sepsis hit, not dramatically but completely. Fentanyl-induced hallucinations. 3 months in intensive care. This time, recovery did not mean rebuilding the old life. It meant letting it go. Years of striving. What remained was something quieter, presence instead of performance, attention instead of effort. And in that stillness he began to notice something unsettling. The patterns in his own life were everywhere, a world running faster and faster, yet feeling increasingly hollow, growth without meaning, intelligence without wisdom, systems compensating until they couldn't. This wasn't one crisis, it was many converging at once, pressure building across bodies, families, institutions and societies, the same story playing out at different scales. Steve meets with old friends and discovers that they are moving to the same place, the place of becoming, the place of being, the place of unconditional love. The apple blossom is the emotional and symbolic thread of the film, a reminder that breakdown is not an ending but an opening. When striving falls away, becoming can emerge. Without the blossom falling, the tree cannot bear fruit, just like Steve, just like us. This film asks, what if resilience isn't toughness, but the capacity to stay soft, to bend without breaking, to become again? The Apple Blossom Teacher is not just a film, it's an urgent 100-year project, a project to reimagine how we become wise, how we lead, how we live, how we love.